Hi, I'm Elizabeth. I am a life and weight loss coach. And I have been coaching folks for about 15 years. And so I've been around a few New Year's resolutions before. And so what I wanted to talk to you today about is the number one mistake that I see New Year's resolution people making and what to do instead. So here's the thing. The number one problem that I notice that most folks make is that they bite off way more than they can chew. And let me be clear here. This comes from a very genuine place that we think that, it doesn't seem like that big of a deal to eat a bunch of vegetables and start cooking our meals and doing all of these things, going out and running and exercising. But if it's so different than where we are today, it's going to be super uncomfortable. And so what happens is we change a bunch of different things in our life at the same time, and it becomes too overwhelming, and it becomes way too stressful and uncomfortable. And so what ends up happening is we give up, especially if we don't see the payoff on the scale like we think that we're gonna have, right? So what happens is we get on the scale after 5 days and we're like, I haven't lost any weight. Why am I busting my butt doing all these things when I could just be doing the same thing that I was doing and stay the same, okay? So first, be aware that if you are trying to lose weight, okay, I noticed that weight doesn't come off but for 2 weeks. So what I mean by that is that I usually need to see about 2 weeks of being consistent in habits before I start to notice any change in the scale, okay? Now, that being said, I also want to let you know that you don't need to completely overhaul everything in order to see losses on the scale as well. You can actually be really conservative with your approach, slowly adding on, habits, and go for the low-hanging fruit, the stuff that's easy right now, and then slowly start to add to it. And I'm going to come back to that in a second. But, okay, so we need to make sure that we're not completely overhauling everything, because otherwise it's going to be just way too uncomfortable, okay? Now, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, Elizabeth, but I can do more. Yes, I'm sure you can. But we want to make sure that you are consistent first. So here is my suggestion. So have a plan and then stick to it. And do that for, do the same thing for a week or two before you start adding to it. Now, what do I mean by having a plan? Here's what I want you to do. I want you to choose exactly what you're gonna eat, when you're gonna eat it, and how much. When you're gonna exercise, what you're going to do for exercise, and then how long you're going to exercise, okay? And then here's the third part, and this is key. What happens if you can't do what you planned? So set up a contingency plan. And this, my friends, this is where your life is going to change, okay? Because you are going to think that everything is going to be fine tomorrow. You're going to be like, I can go running, no problem. And then what's going to happen is it's going to snow, and you're not going to be able to do what you wanted to do because either your car is snowed in, or you don't like running in the snow, or whatever it is that you do. Like this morning, I planned on working out and it started raining. And so what was I going to do? Was I going to give up, or was I going to exercise in the rain? Okay, I actually ended up exercising in the rain. But the point being, you have to think about these things, about what happens if something doesn't go as planned. Because here's the big thing, that consistency is what will actually create our results. Our actions create our results. And so doing those things on a consistent, over and over repeatable basis is what's going to create your results for you. Okay, so number one, have a plan. Number two, execute the plan, stick to it. I know it sounds really simple, but when we get into mind drama about, oh, I don't feel like exercising, or oh, I don't feel like eating the thing that I was going to eat, that's where we get into trouble. Just follow the plan and you'll be great. Now, here's the next piece to that, which I said that I was going to come back to, is we need to consider our future selves. Okay, now if you're not familiar with this concept, it's the person that we're going to be in an hour or 2 hours or tomorrow or next week or next month. Now, we think that the person that we're going to become in the future is going to be radically different. That future Elizabeth is going to want to exercise. That future Elizabeth is going to want to eat vegetables. That future Elizabeth isn't going to want to sit on the couch and drink wine. But you know what? Future Elizabeth is a lot like present day Elizabeth. And so if I set up future Elizabeth to be this perfect person, I'm going to be like, F past Elizabeth. She doesn't know me. Why did I do this to myself? So here's my recommendation in creating a good plan that you can follow in the future, okay? And that is whatever you feel like doing today, schedule that for tomorrow. Okay, and only do it like one day in advance, okay? Now, I know we generally want to say that we're going to exercise 2 times a week or 3 times a week or whatever. And please, if you're a couch potato right now, do not tell yourself that you're going to exercise for 6 days next week. That's just setting yourself up for failure, okay? So, think about who you are today and what you could have done yesterday to set yourself up for success today. And then do that thing, okay? Do that thing for your future self, because she's the one that's going to get you the results that you want in 3 months or a year or whenever, okay? So, number one problem that I see New Year's resolution folks getting into is biting off more than they can chew. Thinking that the future versions of themselves are going to be these radically different people than we are today, okay? So you're going to be the same person tomorrow and next week, next month, and in the next few months, okay? So be compassionate with yourself. Give yourself a break, okay? Be nice to yourself. It's going to pay you back. Okay, so that's number one, biting off more than you can chew. So in order to combat that, then have a plan. So figure out what you're going to do, when you're going to do it, and how much. And that is actually really important that you stick to the plan, because what you're doing in that case then is you're building self-trust, okay? So many of my clients are like, I can commit to other people, but I can't commit to myself. Why can't I commit to myself? And through doing easy, repeatable things, sticking to the plan that you had set up for yourself, you will start to develop self-trust and discipline. Because that's another thing that my clients complain about a lot, is that they just don't have the discipline. So this is how you create discipline. Discipline is not a character trait. It is a practice. It's something that you have to practice day in and day out. Like one day, it's not like, oh, I'm disciplined today, and then next month I'm not, okay? So it's something that you have to practice over and over and over again, okay? And then the last thing is consider what you would want to do today, what you needed to do yesterday in order to set yourself up for success today, and then do that for your future self so that you can be successful then, okay? So, again, I am Elizabeth Sherman. I am a life and weight loss coach. And, if you enjoyed this video, I would love for you to share it. But that's about it, okay? So have an amazing day. I want you to be successful, okay? Now, if you have any questions about any of this, feel free to send me a note. I love helping my clients and any person on the web be healthier, because I don't think that health needs to be a financial thing. So I will talk to you all later. I will be doing more and more lives because I am going to be doing a podcast soon. And so therefore I need to start practicing doing these things more. So have an amazing day, and I will talk to you all later.